So we're now at the stage of the round of 16 for the Premier Sports Cup, where the teams that qualified from the league stage, if you like, to get to this stage are now joined by the five teams that have been competing in European competitions or will compete in European competitions to make up the round of 16 for the Premier Sports Cup or the Scottish League Cup, if you like. And that means we're going to get into the predictions for how the games are going to go. I'll also be reacting to the games that are on TV as well, which they've picked up the Celtic and Rangers games, unsurprisingly. I'm a little bit surprised that maybe they didn't pick up some earlier kickoffs on Saturday or make some earlier kickoff on Saturday or maybe move one to TV on Sunday, but it is what it is. Before we get into the predictions, thank you very much to any new viewers and subscribers. If you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel. There's a lot of Scottish football related content on the channel. The SPFL RTG on FC25, which will be continuing into FC26, and some other types of content on the channel as well. But without further ado, let's get into the predictions for the round of 16 for the Premier Sports Cup. Starting off with Celtic versus Falkirk, which will be tomorrow night at the time of recording. Of course, these two met in the League Cup last season as well, where Celtic came away, I think it was 5-2 winners in the end after Falkirk put in a really good performance against Celtic. I think they were the first team last season to score more than one goal into Celtic as well. So they put up a good fight last season. I would anticipate that they probably will do the same. However, I think that Celtic are the favourites for this game for the reason. They'll, of course, be looking to defend their League Cup title as well. And I'm going to go for not a heavy defeat for Falkirk. I think there'll be heavy rotation from Celtic with the Champions League playoff in mind, which I think is the Tuesday or the Wednesday, one of the two. It might be the Wednesday. And I reckon we'll see a 2-0 Celtic win in this case. On to Morton versus Aberdeen. This would be a great time for Aberdeen to get their first competitive win of the season and potentially kickstart their season heading into the Europa League playoff. But with it being at Morton, there's every chance that we could see a cup upset here. Aberdeen do still look a bit toothless up front, so I don't think it would be a high-scoring affair from Aberdeen's point of view. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Aberdeen. On to a championship clash between Partick Thistle and Ayr United. Should be a pretty interesting and pretty close game, but I am going to back Partick Thistle to get through this one as 2-1 winners as well. St Johnstone versus Motherwell. Of course, St Johnstone, former Premiership side that are now in the Championship this season. They'd spent years and years in the Premiership as well. They might benefit from being at home here, but I think the brand of football, despite the fact that they haven't had a win yet in the league, I think they should have beat Rangers. Can't say the same for St Mirren because I didn't actually watch the game because it wasn't on TV. But I think the brand of football that Motherwell play is nice, and I'm going to back Motherwell to win this one 2-0. Arguably the tie of the round, we have St Mirren against Hearts. St Mirren, of course, have only conceded one goal in the league this season. That was the 87th minute or whenever it was, Luke McCowan goal against Celtic, and they, of course, came away with a 0-0 draw against Motherwell last time out. So they haven't quite yet found their shooting boots in the league, but they did find their shooting boots in the League Cup campaign. Hearts, of course, have had a very impressive start to the season, and I would back Hearts to get through this, but I'm going to go for a draw in regular time and Hearts to get through in extra time. We'll say it will be 1-1 after regular time, and Hearts will win 2-1 in extra time. On to the other TV game, Rangers versus Alloa. Despite Rangers' poor start to the season overall, they have made it to the Champions League playoff. And you would anticipate that this will be their first domestic win. Despite the fact that Alloa did actually beat Dundee, who should have beat Rangers in the last game. And Rangers, of course, dropped points to them. I doubt that they'll be able to repeat the feat against Rangers at Ibrox. Even though, similarly to Celtic, I think there will be some heavy rotation against Alloa. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Rangers win here. And let's put it this way, if Russell Martin's team don't put Alloa out, then I would be surprised if Russell Martin made it to the Celtic game. On to what should be another interesting tie, Kilmarnock and Dundee United. I think rotation-wise it will come down to whether or not Dundee United are able to beat Rapid Vienna tonight. If they can make it through, they might use some heavy rotation. If not, then probably their starting team. But I'm going to back, since Kilmarnock are at home, I'm going to back Kilmarnock to win 1-0 here. And on to our final tie of the round of 16, we have Livingston at home against Hibs. Another one that could come down to rotation. However, Hibs could look to postpone their game, which would be their next league fixture if they did get through tonight. I know that obviously Aberdeen and Dundee United have done the same. So we'll need to wait and see what happens. They've had a relatively good start to the season, although their draw with Kilmarnock a little bit disappointing for them, they would say, although it was a screamer that was the equaliser in that game. I'm going to back Livy to see out a 1-0 win here because they're at home as well. So, with that being the case, that's going to wrap up the Premier Sports Round of 16 prediction video. I'll be doing a reaction video to the Hibs and Partizan game that's on tonight because they've chosen that one to be the game that's on TV. So I'll react to that, and then of course I'll react to the Celtic Falkirk and Rangers Alloa games as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel, liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.